Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Holten Meats Coach's Corner, presented by Holten Meats Chop House Steak Burgers. Alex Schlemmer and Coach Jermaine with us this week here as we're going to get ready to prep homecoming week, senior night, a conference championship on the line. We got a big week ahead of us here, Coach, and good game last week, but how's the mood coming out of that big game, a game that we thought was going to be close, and the Eagles just took care of business, and the defense did everything that they needed to do?
Yeah, Alex, other than that first drive last Friday night, our kids really locked in and did what they were told to do. They played assignment football throughout the rest of the game. This week's a crazy week here at Columbia High School. As far as homecoming goes, you've got a lot of distractions. You've got not distractions, good distractions, but you've got homecoming, you've got senior night, and like you said, we've got the conference championship basically on the line. So by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, our kids need to be locked in and be thinking football. And we've had a good week of practice, and I think they will be ready to go.
And this is what makes coaching fun, though. You get to have these big games. You get to have the big crowds that's going to be coming out. Senior night, we're honoring our 10 seniors, I believe it is this year. So these guys who've been playing for some of these guys since they were kindergarten, first grade, and some guys that were just playing 4 years now at the high school level. So it's a good, fun week. You got the band behind us. They're getting ready for the week. So it's going to be a good night tomorrow night. Hopefully the rain stays away. And hopefully we have a dry night and have a good night ahead of us.
Yeah, we've been, we put our backs against the wall week 1 and week 2. So, we've been playing, playoff football for the last 5-6 weeks. So I don't expect anything different out of our kids. I think they're going to come out ready to play. And I know Coach has got a good game plan ready to go for Breese. Breese has got a great coaching staff. Those guys have been together for, I believe, the second longest tenured in the conference at 16 years. So they know the game. They know the ins and outs of what we're doing. But I think Coach has got a few tricks up his sleeve on the offensive side of the ball that give our team an advantage.
So you said they're the second longest tenured in the conference, potentially, we think. I think the first or the longest tenured might be Coach Horner and Coach Jermaine at 21 seasons now.
That's correct.
And congratulations, Coach Horner gets the praise at 150 career wins in the conference, but Coach G's been sitting at his side all the way along the seasons every year, so congratulations on your 150.
Thank you, Alex. Coach Horner's done a great job with this program over the past 21 years, and it helps to have good players as well. And but Coach Horner does a good job of getting those kids mindset correctly, so they're ready to go on Friday nights.
So a little bit about last week. Columbia just dominates the game, 46-7 victory. We talked a little bit, that opening drive Columbia had. We go down, we were driving, looking like we're going to get in the end zone. Block in the back pushes us back. We end up getting a field goal. That was a 5-minute drive, and then after that, Salem got the football, took off 7-8 minutes of the clock in the first quarter, score on the opening play of the second quarter, and once that happened, they they go up on the score 7-3, and after that, the Eagles ran wild over the Wildcats.
Yeah, we after that first drive, defensively we locked in, and we played assignment football. But they converted a couple third down conversions there in that first quarter, which, like we say, we got to play assignment football, and we figured that out as the game rolled on. But the McConaughey Kyle did a great job, and Dom there in the second quarter. I think after they scored that first play in the second quarter, the next play we come right back, and Dom busts a tackle and goes about 65 yards for a touchdown. And then McConaughey got a couple nice runs, and then are able to block a punt, get a safety. Then we got a pick six by Colin Saigon to end the second quarter. So putting up 29 points in the second quarter, we kind of shell-shocked Salem.
Yeah, you look at McConaughey there. I believe it was 19 carries, 143 yards, averaging 7.5 yards per carry. You mentioned Dom's big run of 63-yard touchdown run. He finished the night 7 rushing attempts for 108 yards, so he's got 15 yards. So that's probably the best rushing game we've had out of those two guys. And then you look at Vaguely throwing the ball, 6 for 8, 79 yards. And receiving-wise, you had spread it out a little bit. Saigon with 2 receptions, Meganson with 2 receptions, McConaughey with 1, and Missler with 1. So offensively, Eagles just kind of slung it around, ran it around, did what we had to do. And defensively, for the second time this season, the defense scores more points than the opponent's offense. So that's something you got to be prideful in too.
Yeah, I know Coach probably enjoys it when Coach likes to have his offense on the field, and I like for my defense to be off the field. But it's kind of nice when we put some points on the board to help that average out for Coach Horner's offense. But our kids are coming into their own, and it's really exciting to see them understand responsibilities and, get it from week to week. And, it's kind of like, putting a puzzle together, week in, week out. But pretty fortunate that we've played some teams that have, run similar offenses. So our kids have seen pretty much the same stuff throughout the course of the past few weeks. But this week, we'll talk about that here in a minute. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. We keep going. Yeah, it makes your jobs easier whenever you're just making a little tweak here and a little tweak there. And last week, you guys made the right tweaks. Did you have to do anything at halftime, or at that point it was pretty much you had everything figured out and just don't fix what's not broke?
Well, I'm not taking away anything from our players, and our kids were well aware of last week going in. Salem's one of their best players offensively and defensively was out of the game, did not play. And we had we spent a lot of time preparing for this kid because he could play all over the field. He was a running back, he was a sniffer back, he was a tailback, he was a slot receiver, he was so we had different coverages set up for him. And, during pregame, the kids were kind of looking, Coach, I don't think he's dressed. And I'm like, yeah, I see that, but I wasn't going to say anything until we went into the locker room. But, we did a good job throughout the course of the week preparing. Each week they have. But I think there's a lot of things that, offenses can throw at you, but I think our kids will be ready for anything that they see.
Well, that was another big win that the Eagles captured last week. Moves them to 4-3, and that's going to throw a big wrench in the fire for this week. We're going to have a lot of good things to talk about when we come back to the Holten Meets Coaches Corner, but we got to talk conference standings, conference schedule, conference championships are on the line. And, oh, yeah, in a couple of weeks we got the playoffs starting up. So we're going to head to a break. We'll be back. We'll break everything down. We'll get you ready for this week. We'll get you ready for homecoming and senior night when we get back to the Holten Meets Coaches Corner right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the Holten Meets Coaches Corner. We got a lot to get into now, and we were just talking about it. We're still trying to make sure we got it ironed out, but fun week ahead of us here right now. We got CAHOKIA Conference on the line. We got state playoffs on the line. Everybody's sitting with one loss right now, and with us and Central, or no, I'm sorry, us and Freeburg.
Yeah, Breeze is undefeated in the conference.
Breeze is undefeated. So, with all of that being said, Columbia sitting, like we said, 4-3, 3-1. The 29 playoff points is what we call them, opponent wins. So you take all the opponent's wins. That's how you get that. That comes into effect when the IHSA starts talking about seedings and everything like that. So that's a big number if you can only get to those 5 wins. 5 wins gets you into the playoffs, potentially. 6 wins, you're in for sure. So like as you see right there, Breese Central, the 6 wins, they're in. Freeburg sitting at 5-2, they are eligible, but then it would come into their playoff points. So they're sitting at 3-1 in the conference. Columbia and Salem both at 4-3. Columbia 3-1 in the conference. Salem at 2-2. And then you got Wood River and Roxana 1-6 and 0-4. And you look at their playoff points up a little bit higher because of everybody in the conference having the wins. So that's the easy stuff. Now we go into this week and who we got everybody playing. You got Columbia versus Central. Freeburg hosts Salem. And then I'm thinking Roxana and Wood River. So, big games up at the top with us and Central, obviously. Freeburg just needs to get the job done, keep everything going. But the cool thing is, the ball's in our court. We just got to win.
Absolutely, Alex. We can take care of business tomorrow night, then there'll be a 3-way tie for the conference championship with Columbia, Central, and Freeburg. We don't want Central to win. We don't want them to, take home the sole possession because they beat Freeburg head-to-head. So it's our, it's our job on our home turf to take care of business. Central's good. They're like I told you earlier. Their team is well coached. Their kids will be ready. I know that they've had some injuries in the past few weeks at some key positions on the offensive line and tight end areas. But I know Coach Short and his staff will have his kids ready to go, just like Coach Horner will have his kids ready to go. But should be a great night, like we said, with the atmosphere, with senior night, homecoming, court, and all that being announced. Like I said, 4 o'clock tomorrow, I think our kids will be locked in, ready to play.
So the easy way to figure out what's going on with conference, if Central wins, they're the conference champs. If Central wins and Freeburg loses, Columbia and Central would split the conference, so we would be co-champs. The CAHOKIA conference would just keep it at co-champs. There's no tiebreakers. Then if you would look at the IHSA standpoint, they would go to head-to-head, so Columbia would be the representative if Columbia wins. If Columbia wins and Freeburg wins, we'll have the 3-way tie. Columbia, Central, and Freeburg would all split it 3 ways at 4-1, and then we'll leave it up to the IHSA to figure out who's going to be the conference representative.
That sounds really good to me, Alex.
So, like I said, easy job. Columbia takes care of business. We win this week, we'll do okay. We win next week, that gets us to those 6 wins. You're automatically locked in. So, ball's in our court. We're on our home field tonight or this week, so it's going to be easy for us if we just take care of business. And next week, our job will be easy on this coach's corner. So,
absolutely. Like I told you earlier, the kids have got a lot of distractions. And, I think our kids, and Coach tells them all the time, there's several games you're going to remember throughout the course of your high school career. One is going down the road to play the orange and black. The second one is homecoming. And the third one is obviously senior night. So, basically, we've got two out of the 3 happening tomorrow night. So, once again, hopefully our kids can get locked in by 4 o'clock, be ready to play.
So we talked a little bit about Central and what they're going to be coming into the matchup. Columbia's series record 29-18. Coach Horner and Coach Jermaine 15-6, and that does include a playoff win 2016-ish.
Yes, 15 or 16.
15
yes.
or 16. It was here on
15. Yep, Jared's sophomore year.
And it was here on our home field. There was another great game. I think earlier in the year we beat them
by 1 point both times.
Yep, and then we came in here and we beat them by 1 point too. So Breeze coming off the 5-1 season last year. We went to Breeze. They beat us 18-12 on a mud pit, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
And we were talking a little bit this year. We're going to expect the same thing. They're going to ground and pound the football again.
Yeah, they've got a 3-headed monster. You look at their kids up front. They're big. Their kids are big, and their quarterback is a first-year starter for him. But he can throw the ball a little bit, but he's more of a running style quarterback, kind of like what we've had, in the years past. And they've got 2 running backs that they utilize. So their kids up front just want to bang at you. They just want to keep grinding. And obviously they've got confidence in their running backs because they can take it to the house anytime they touch the ball. So we've got to read our keys and do our jobs as far as linebackers go, and our guys up front can't get pushed around. We've got to hold our ground, be able to fight double teams and split double teams, and not let those guys get to our linebackers.
A couple of weeks ago in that East Alton game, we were watching film after the fact and watching the replay on KCHS, and there's a couple times, a couple of our linemen that they were in their stance, they're looking good, the ball snapped, and all of a sudden they were on their backside, and that's when those 7-8 yard plays happen. But that's also when those 78-yard, 80-yard plays happen.
It's tough.
Too.
It's tough for a linebacker. As a linebacker, if you've got your defensive lineman and two offensive players on your lap, we yell at our backers all the time, but it's tough for our guys to be able to see what's going on when you've got three guys basically in your lap. So our guys up front, and we did a great job last week. Coach Baker has been doing a great job with the offensive and defensive line, but he's challenged those kids every day in practice to get better, and I know he spends 15, 20 minutes a day working on technique with those guys, and they don't always like it, but we're seeing the benefit of the hard work that they're putting in throughout the course of the week, because we're progressively getting better as the weeks move forward.
And I think we've played a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball. We've talked about that, me and Jared, during the games, and we've talked in the coach's corner too. The linemen this year, they've been playing really well. The first couple games, Mascuda, I'll give it to him. That was a good football team. And that comes out week one, guys getting a lot of their first snaps. But after that, the Lions really held their ground. Offensively, given a pretty good pocket for Dom to throw the football around, and then if he's got to make a play, he can make it. And even McConaughey, you just got to give that guy, just give him half a shoulder width. He's going to get through there, and he's going to let his feet do the rest of the job.
Yeah, and a lot comes up, up front. The play gets called, and everything comes in, from the sideline from coach. And Grant doesn't get. I don't think he's getting enough credit this year, but Grant Mathany's done a wonderful job at anchoring that line at the center position. He makes all the calls as far as the protection goes on the passes. The snaps have been on the money for the most part this year, and a lot of our offenses, the RPOs, and it has to be there for the timing purposes for Dom to be able to get his job done. So Grant, and give credit to Grant, and like you said, all the way across the board, Kuczynski kid's doing a great job. Owen Brewer, who we talk about him. I know you guys talk about him a lot here on the air, but Owen's an anchor up there on both sides of the ball. Thomas Kinneystein, talked about him a little bit, but you're getting a freshman and Antonis coming in, and then the Joe Kish kid. I think Coach Bake has about 6 or 7 kids that he's working with, and they're all seeing playing time, and during practice they're just making each other better.
So go back to this week a little bit on Central defensive side of the ball. So what is our offense going to be seeing? Are we going to have some keys that we're going to be coming into? Don't give me too much information here, but what are we expecting to see on the offensive side of the ball?
Coach Short's their head coach is their defensive coach. He's a 4-4 type of guy, but you'll see a 4-3 scheme. He's going to keep 6, 7 people in the box. He's going to dare you to throw the ball a little bit. So we're going to have to be able to give some time. Their linebackers don't blitz very much, but their linebackers are very aggressive, and they do a great job of what we call high hat, low hat. When they see run, they're coming. I mean, they're coming up and attacking the line of scrimmage, and when they see pass, obviously they're going to drop. So it's very important that we keep our head up, especially when we're on a double team to a chip, because those backers are going to be coming, and they're going to meet you at the line of scrimmage, and we've got to be able to come off the double team and get our block. So it'd be a good matchup, good chess matchup. Two head coaches going at it from the offensive side and the defensive side with Coach Horner and Coach Short.
And, as a quarterback, how you're talking right there with the lineman. Quarterback, you have your post-snap, you have your pre-snap read and your post-snap read. And what you were just saying right there for the lineman, they pretty much have the same thing. That linebacker, he might be starting 3 yards deep on pre-snap, and all of a sudden once that snap happens, that guy that was over there, now all of a sudden he's right here. So they're going to be responsible for keeping that going. And it's always a good matchup whenever you get Columbia and Central going at it, and especially with so much on the line.
Absolutely, Alex, absolutely.
So now we look on the defensive side of the ball. What are you expecting to see out of Central's offense?
Not to give too much away, just like, they're basically running the same stuff they've been running for several years. Like I said, they're going to ground and pound you. And the quarterback's a first-year starter, but he's got the ability to throw it a little bit. We've got to stop the run. That's the primary deal, and we challenged the kids last week. We played Salem that, it's hard for an offensive coach to call a play on 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. It's easy when it's 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. So we got to win the first down battle. Once again, you're going to see multiple formations. They're all over the board. Our kids got to be ready, that's what we prep. Monday and Tuesday we spend time on that. And, heck, by Wednesday is the only day we get to, basically have a scout team anymore. So Monday and Tuesday is our day for, prepping formations and understanding what we're doing in each situation. Heck, I don't even really have to call a blitz anymore. Everything's pretty much predetermined on the formation of the opponent. But So just understanding what your job is when they're in specific formations and stopping the run. We've got to stop the run on first down and get them in the second and third down where they're uncomfortable to win the battle.
So we can talk about this all day long. It boils down to you just got to make the plays, the X's and O's, and Jimmy's and Joe's got to get after it.
Absolutely, Alex.
Makes it a simple game. All right, so we've talked a little bit. You got your 10 seniors this year. What can you say about those guys? And you say it to pretty much any senior class, but these guys, they lost last year a little bit. So now this year they're coming out. They start a bunch of young guys coming out. I think 8 of the 11 were getting their first snaps. So these guys have come a long way, and you got to appreciate that coming week in and week out.
For a kid who's spends 4 years in your program, you start to get a special bond with those kids. Although as freshmen don't see them as much, and by the time they're a sophomore, they're practicing with us at the varsity level. But for anybody to stick it out 4 years, it's a testament to the kids, the work ethic. Football, it's more about football. They're going to gain more from, they're going to gain more in life by playing this game than they did if they didn't, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to learn heartache and headaches and, coaches yelling and screaming and hollering. They're going to –
Not you guys.
No, we don't yell and scream. But they're going to – the fans cheering to the, coming through the tunnel, hearing the Hell's Bells play. It's just a special feeling. And, I still get goosebumps when I come down, and it's been 31 years since I played. But I can't say enough about those kids. And I want to touch on just one kid, the Jay Missler. That kid got hurt last year, second game against Breese Central, was starting for us at linebacker. Didn't play much defense the rest of the year. But Jay has really come on this year and has been a leader on our defensive side of the ball as far as the linebacker go. He's taken the Brandon Jackson kid, who's a sophomore for us, kind of under his wing. And, he's taught him, what it takes to be a varsity football player. So I just want to give Jay a shout-out and say, Jay, you're doing a great job. Keep it up, kid.
So now we'll talk homecoming. What's your favorite homecoming tradition?
Favorite homecoming tradition? I don't know. I think the games. I think when the kids get to come out, at the end of the school day on Friday and come down and you see, just so much school spirit and the kids are all participating and they're, rooting on their class and whatever event it is. I just think that just brings the school together.
Well, let's hopefully that the Eagles can be dancing away in the streets on Saturday night this year, homecoming.
Love it.
Going up on Main Street. Not going to be in the gymnasium. We're going to get the kids outside. Don't have to wear the mask when they're outside. So we're going to get them outside. Dancing away in the streets is our theme this year, and we're hopefully going to be dancing away with the victory tomorrow night.
Absolutely, Alex.
Well, we'd like to thank you all for listening into the Holten Meets Coaches Corner. We're going to come back to you tomorrow night at 6:30. We'll have pregame, the Aces Wild pregame show going. We'll run over everything, make sure that we got the conference ready to go, the playoffs ready to go, and we'll talk Eagles football tomorrow night at 6:30. So, Coach G, thanks for coming up. Let's get the job done tomorrow night.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow night for the Aces Wild pregame show at 6:30 on KCHS. Thanks for listening.